something that has been done for a really long time on different things, okay? But this is more prevalent when it comes to light tackle than it is with heavy tackle, and for obvious reasons. Alright? Now, if you're new to the channel, this channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We talk about, or we cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And today, we are adding to our jig rigging library, and this is specifically for micro all the way to light jigging, and it is a rigging style for assist hooks. All right, now it's this one right here, as you can see. I'm gonna zoom in. This is a Storm Gomoku Slim, and I pre-rigged this, but this is just one of a couple of methods that you could use to rig. As you can see, the dogs are on their own cage. But as you can see, I utilized a direct connection here, and for this you could use a snap, a split ring, or you could just tie directly onto the jig. Now there's several reasons why you want to do this. Obviously, this is a more secure and a more, I would say, direct connection. And this is actually a very strong connection. This is the strongest connection that you will ever have with a jig, let's say. A direct connection, all right? Obviously, this will have a disadvantage, of course, because the jig's still there when you're hooked up with a fish. It's literally connected to the jig, but it gives you a more secure connection to, let's say, the jig and the fish. It's a straighter connection, and it's using less hardware. So the main point there is that it is very, very secure. Okay, so this one is not rigged yet. Okay, I'm gonna rig this in a bit, but I mentioned that this is one of two ways to do it. So first one obviously would be to splice it directly, and well, everyone knows how to splice. Second one would be to have a loop at the end, and then all you do is actually, you could imagine that there's a hook there. What you could do is pass the loop through like so on the jig, whichever end suits you actually. So like that, and then you loop it, have the hook there, right? And then you loop it, and it's like that. Okay, so that's kind of the more traditional way. There's also having a assist hook with a loop like that, and then the hook here. Okay, so that's the third method. For me, I prefer this because it gives me a cleaner result. Okay, just cleaner, that's it. Now the main thing here is that, I don't know if you've noticed that this is kind of like really floppy there, whereas this one, because I purposely done this is actually a bit tight. Okay, so the most important thing there is to just have this loose and not tight, because if it's tight, if it's going down and the position of the hook goes up like that, it's not going to go down when you're working it as easily. You need a bit of force to actually drop it down. Now from here, it's just a bigger loop, that's it. Just make sure that that's loose. Alright, so now I'm going to bring you in. Okay, from here, what we're going to do, okay, is I am going to pierce the cord. Like so. Okay, and then we could cut the excess just a tad bit here, like so. Then can go ahead and tie the hook. It is that easy, guys. It is that easy, and I promise you this is going to be so clean. Okay, now make sure that the hook actually is in the right position. So that, and then all you have to do really is just tie this end. And that is it. A bit of super glue, tie this up, and it will be nice and neat. Okay, as you can see there, okay, it's going a bit unruly, and I just tied a few wraps and then pulled on the jig to tighten everything so that I can do wraps, and when the wraps are done, you'll end up with a very clean. You spiral, basically, you spiral it, then you'll see that it will hold all the fibers down. And then from there, don't forget to cut your tag. From there, you just tighten everything. Of course, we're still gonna glue this. Okay, now you might notice when I'm done here, I don't know if you notice now, you might notice that I'm actually using a bigger hook. Okay, and I like using bigger hooks for this, for the holding power. So I always use hooks that would be a size bigger than what's needed for ultralight especially. And for my shore jigging, I always scale up my hook by 1. That's a very big tip there, because if you scale it up by 1, what happens is that you'll get extra hold on the fish, because ultralight hooks are already very tiny, and especially with jigs, what happens is that they're heavy enough and they're robust enough, and they will be balanced anyway. So, okay, the braid is too thin, but as you can see there, it's not loose or anything. So it cut itself because it's really thin and I was pressuring it. Alright, now, okay, so right there, all I have to do is just twist this a little bit to get it into position. Okay. Sometimes it becomes kind of unruly, and then all you have to do is just twist it a bit so that it positions itself the way you want it. So as you can see there, that is done. Okay. So just like the other one, this one is actually very loose, as you can see. It self-aligns. Okay, and that is placed perfectly where it should be. Now, for this, I would recommend not using a split ring, but you should be using a snap. Okay, so this is for you guys that like using snaps. This is, it gives this a lot of action because of the freedom that the snap gives it. Okay, so especially for fast jigs, this is a very good way of doing things. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for slow jigs, but you can tie up a bunch, and if it gets damaged, change it. If you make your own, no problem, you could always connect it. There is one other jig that I do this to, but I'm gonna leave that for the next video. Alright, so that is it, guys. Again, it's a direct connect assist hook. And if you do it like this, not only would you be able to do it really clean, you're actually able to do it very consistent. Okay? So that is it. If you have questions, it's a short one. It's proud of this. Alright, so if you have questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. But yeah, pretty straightforward. If you haven't yet, please click on the subscribe. Like the video if you like it, if you learned something especially. But that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.